Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. OK, let's dive deep into creating custom validation annotations in Spring Boot that accept parameters. This is a powerful technique for enforcing complex business rules in a clean and reusable way. Understanding the basics. Spring Boot builds upon the Bean Validation API, JSR 303 and its successors, providing a standardized way to validate Java objects. Annotations like @NotNull, @size, @email, and @min are built-in examples. Custom validation annotations allow us to go beyond these and define our own specific validation logic. Why custom validation? Encapsulation keep validation logic close to the data it validates, promoting maintainability. Reusability apply the same validation logic across multiple fields or classes. Readability make your code more expressive by giving meaning to the validation constraints. Flexibility handle complex validation scenarios that built-in annotations don't cover. Customization add parameters to annotations to support different levels or types of validation. Steps to create a custom validation annotation with parameters. Here's a breakdown of the process, illustrated with a code example to validate a password strength based on its length and the inclusion of special characters. 1. Define the annotation. *@documented indicates that the annotation should be included in JavaDoc. *@constraint validated by equals password strength validator.class. This critical part links the annotation to the password strength validator class, which will contain the actual validation logic. *@target element type.field element type.method specifies that the annotation can be applied to fields, instance variables, and methods, typically getters. You can add other targets like element type.parameter if you want to validate method parameters directly. *@retention policy.runtime ensures that the annotation is available at runtime, which is necessary for validation to occur. *message default password is not strong enough defines the default error message that will be displayed if the validation fails. You can override this message when using the annotation. *groups default allows you to group validation constraints. This is an advanced feature that lets you enable or disable certain validations based on the context. *payload default allows you to attach metadata to the validation constraint. This is also an advanced feature, often used for carrying information about the validation failure. *min length default 8 defines a parameter min length for the annotation. It sets a default value of 8. When you use the annotation, you can override this default, at password strength, min length equals 12. *require special char, default true, defines a boolean parameter require special char for the annotation. It sets a default value of true. When you use the annotation, you can override this default, at password strength, require special char equals false. 2. Implement the validator class. * implements constraint validator password strength, string. The validator class must implement the constraint validator interface. The first generic type, password strength, is the annotation it validates, and the second generic type, string, is the type of the field or method parameter to which the annotation is applied. Private int min length, and private boolean require special char, instance variables to store the annotation parameters. Initialize, password strength constraint annotation, this method is called once when the validator is instantiated. It receives the password strength annotation as an argument. Here, we extract the values of the min length and require special char parameters from the annotation and store them in the instance variables. Asterisk is valid, string password, constraint validator context, this is the core validation logic. It takes the value of the field, the password, in this case, and a constraint validator context as input. Asterisk the constraint validator context provides access to metadata about the validation and allows you to customize the error message. Asterisk the method returns true if the value is valid, and false otherwise. Asterisk the validation logic checks if the password is null or shorter than the required minimum length. Asterisk it checks if a special character is required, and if so, if the password contains one. Asterisk password matching asterisk the regular expression, at $% and, searches for any of the special characters inside the square brackets, at $% and. 3. Use the annotation in a class. Asterisk here, the @password strength annotation is applied to the password field. Asterisk we override the default message and min length parameters. If we didn't specify min length equals 10, the default value of 8 would be used. We're using the default for require special char. 4. Using the validator in a Spring Boot application. Asterisk at valid, this annotation tells Spring to validate the user object before processing the request. Asterisk at request body, indicates that the user object should be created from the request body. Asterisk handling validation errors asterisk Spring automatically handles validation errors. If any validation fails, including the custom @password strength validation, a method argument not valid exception is thrown. To properly handle this exception, you typically use a @controller advice class to provide a consistent error response. This validation exception handler intercepts method argument not valid exception and creates a map of field names to error messages, returning it as a JSON response with an HTTP status of 400, bad request. Example usage, testing the validation. 1 valid user asterisk. This should pass validation. 2 invalid user, short password. This should fail validation, and the response will contain the error message password must be at least 10 characters long and contain a special character, or the default password is not strong enough if you didn't override the message. 3 invalid user, no special character. This should also fail the validation. Complete Spring Boot application example, project structure. Here's a suggested project structure. Key considerations and best practices. Asterisk error messages asterisk provide clear and helpful error messages to guide users. Use message attributes to customize these messages. Asterisk regular expressions asterisk be careful when using regular expressions in your validation logic. Ensure that they are efficient and cover all the expected cases. Test them thoroughly. Asterisk dependency injection asterisk if your validator needs access to Spring Beans, example for database lookups, you can inject them into the validator class using @AutoWired. Make sure the validator class is a Spring Bean, annotated with @component or @service. Asterisk testing asterisk write unit tests for your custom validators to ensure that they behave correctly under various conditions. Asterisk localization asterisk for internationalized applications, use resource bundles to store error messages in different languages. Asterisk constraint composition asterisk you can combine multiple annotations to create more complex validation rules. For example, you could combine @notblank and @password strength on the same field. Asterisk keep it simple asterisk avoid overly complex validation logic in your annotations. If the validation logic becomes very intricate, consider moving it to a separate service class. Further enhancements. Asterisk regular expression configuration asterisk instead of hard-coding the special character regex, you could make it configurable through an annotation parameter. Asterisk custom error codes asterisk instead of just error messages, you could define custom error codes that your application can use to perform specific actions based on the type of validation failure. Asterisk asynchronous validation asterisk for long-running validation tasks, you could perform the validation asynchronously. By following these steps and best practices, you can create robust and reusable custom validation annotations in Spring Boot that make your code cleaner, more maintainable, and more secure. Remember to test your validations thoroughly to ensure they function as expected. Let me know if you have any more questions.